You guys are looking for a fun Halloween film to see in theaters this year? I think this is it. Let's check it out. Hello everybody, my name is Jake Moralesss and welcome to my channel, Play That Movie. Here on this channel we talk everything movies, movie news, and anything coming down the pipeline involving TV shows and streaming services. And today guys, I'm going to be talking about Black Phone 2. This movie is the second film in the franchise of Black Phone. And this movie was written and directed by Scott Derrickson. And for this movie being the second movie in the Black Phone franchise, I think he nailed this one. However, if you're a fan of the first one, you may or may not like this film. While the first one is very much a horror film, it's got elements of it being a paranormal movie, but also elements of it being a kidnapping story. In the second film, this movie leans very much into the paranormal aspect of things, and I think it works. In the first movie, the director takes concepts that the dead can communicate with the living. However, in this movie, the director takes elements from movies such as Nightmare on Elm Street and The Shining and interjects them into this movie. The dead can not only communicate with the living, but they can now do sinister things to them while they're sleeping, or when they're awake or in a sleep-like state. This leaves the movie open for some pretty interesting scares. And yeah, we've seen this done before with Freddy, but putting a new face on it, this is very much revamping that trope that Freddy is back and doing some creepy things, but it's the grabber this time. Guys, the atmosphere in this movie is also pretty interesting. The story takes place in a secluded church camp out in the mountains of Colorado, while a snowstorm is going on, leaving our characters feeling stranded and helpless. This element not only adds to the horror, but it builds suspense in the snowy atmosphere. But also follow it up with echoes of phantom phone calls from the dead of missing kids and sinister, unseen attacks. This definitely keeps you on your toes. Now there are some pros and cons that are worth mentioning in this film, and one of those cons is the pacing. The pacing in the first act does take a while for it to get going, but by the second and third act, it leads to a pretty cool story being told. Another thing worth mentioning is the characters. There are some characters in this film that don't need to be there, but I can see why they're there, and you can kind of look past it. But one thing also that is very surprising in this film is the emotional beats, and some of those emotional beats come from our main characters. Not only do these emotional beats tie loose ends from 1 and 2 and add to the story, but also gives our characters more depth, leaving you feel satisfied with the conclusion of 1 and 2. It's really cool seeing Scott Derrickson take these risks and putting these elements of emotional beats in this film, especially during a horror franchise. But I really liked it, and it's probably one of my favorite things about this movie. Now let me know in the comment section below, guys, are you guys going to check this movie out in theaters, especially during Halloween season? Or are you guys just going to wait for streaming services? Let me know.